Salam alaikum, buenos dias, good morning, peace and blessings be to all you guys. I pray you guys are doing great. Like always, you know how it is, sending my blessings, positive energies towards your way. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I don't do much for the weekends. I stay in. You know, I do things, but I don't go out, you know. No need to. Times are too hard for this to be going out. Anyway, guys, another day, another dollar, making the donuts like always. Philadelphia, 56 degrees. It's a little cloudy out here. Don't know if we're getting rain or not. But anyway, today I wanted to hit a little bit again, which I already have spoken about this topic. It's very simple, something should be very usual and automatic on us, the human being, in totality, whether you practice or not. But when you do practice a tradition, that it's even more you see it more implemented, due to the fact is we have a code, you know, and a respect for our elders, you know, in that sense. So we show it, we say it, and we give that type of energy towards our elders. And you already heard it, respect. What I mean with respect is respecting one another as human beings. You know, if you want respect, right, for people to respect you, you have to respect others. Whether you like it or not, that's how it goes. Because a lot of people want respect, but they forget not to handle themselves in a way where they are disrespecting someone else in a certain way, whichever way. That people do it in so many different ways, you know, by looks, by gestures, by words, actions, all that. We have to respect, you know, we have to know how to talk, especially in, you know, I would say in totality, you know how to talk. Because listen, guys, a lot of us, right, that practice these traditions, yes, we have professional people in these traditions, but when you look at the in totality, you'll notice that the people that practice these traditions or religions are people that either are poor or live in poverty, or been in certain circumstances in their life where they've been on the low end of the stick. So they have tried other ways to come up and to look for that succor, for that help. And they have come down to practicing these traditions that do help them and do build them and do give them back that push that, yeah, I could, you understand? I'm not saying it's magic, but I'm saying that it has helped a lot of the poor. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so you know, we come, right. When I spoke about the poor and all that, is because, see, when you look at poverty sections in the United States, you're gonna see there are. I'm not saying that we are the only ones. I'm not saying that the African American and the Latinos are the only ones in poverty. We do have other nationalities that are in poverty also. But when we look at the numbers of the percentages, you're gonna see African and Latinos are high up in those percentages. But I'm not excluding those people that also are in poverty. or live in these slums or these hoods or these zombie lands or whatever you want to call it, whatever is your ebonics, your glitch, how you say it. You understand? With that being said, what I'm trying to say is that just because, right, we've been raised in these streets, in these ghettos, you know, and we as people, we adapt to conditions that are harsh. We adapt to it. So we know that we strong people, but at the same time, we have to learn how to talk. It's very simple, right? If I go to a job interview and I dress up, I go to the job, the interviewer starts asking me questions, and I start talking to the interviewer, the one that most has probably the power to give me that job. And I start speaking to him the way I would speak to somebody from the streets. That interviewer could be from the streets also, or could have been from the streets or raised in these ghettos also. And he understands or she what I'm saying. But it was not the right place and the right time to speak like that and to act like that and to portray yourself like that. It makes you look very, very wrong, very low. And yes, we are who we are because of the struggles, the conditions. And when I mean struggles, I mean, listen, man, there's a lot of people out here, including myself, that didn't choose to live in these ghettos, didn't choose to be born, didn't choose to have the family that I have, that I had and have and had. We didn't choose a lot of these things. We didn't have the opportunity to say, oh, nope, I don't want to be born right with that mother. No, I don't want that person to be my dad. Oh, no, I don't want to live in these type of conditions. Shit, this is garbage. There's nothing. I want to live better. No, we didn't have these things. And a lot of us have gone through a lot of things, and even atrocities and everything that people don't know because they keep silencing this to themselves and this person who have gone through atrocities. You understand? But they have been able to work or they're still trying to work with that and still moving forward. We have to respect our elders. These days, you know, you look at the TV, you look at the news, and you see 3 or 4 kids, you know, and an elderly is walking by, and somebody comes from behind her, and what we call is a sucker punch from the back, and they knock them out. And they do it for fun, for kicks and giggles. I'm going to tell you something. And I'm only going to tell you this because I know how they are in Puerto Rico. I don't know about here. Unless you hit a grandmother or a mother of somebody who's locked up and you get to go to jail, you're in some trouble. But Puerto Rico, in the jail systems over there, they have different associations. The prisoners. And there are laws that the prisoners make on their own in jail. This has been happening through decades. And the first thing that the CO does when there's a child molester, a woman beater, things of this, you know, that is disgusting, you know, for somebody to do that. The CO brings you inside general population and he yells out or tells one of the inmates running that block what you in for. And also, you know, they have the capability to find your paperwork. And if they find that paperwork and they find out what you're in there for, you're going to have a bad time in there for hitting a woman, hitting a elderly, molesting. Over there, it's serious like that. Serious. Now, we have to respect our elderly people. And not elderly in age only, elderly in their wisdom and their traditions, whether it be in Kisimalongo, not in Kisimalongo, whether it be whatever tradition they're in. If they're an elder, they got gray hair in their face, on their hair, on their head, because it could be a woman. There's respect that has to be there, because these are years of these people practicing these traditions, whatever tradition may be. And just because you might not agree or you find fault or anything, it doesn't give you the right to be disrespectful to an elder. And like I said, an elder in age or an elder in the tradition. And we have elders that are younger than us, than me, I'm going to say, because of the knowledge and because who taught them when they started as kids, that they have been raised from, a young age, already being introduced into these systems and to these traditions, that they have gained a lot of knowledge, and then they have kept on progressing. So they are young in age, but elder in the tradition, older than you, because they've been practicing longer than you and before you and no more than you. So we have to learn how to speak. If we need to learn how to speak to people, we need to learn how, and just regular people. There's a time for us to bring that rah-rah, that ghetto, that yo man, that what's up, yo gang, yo, you know what I'm saying? There's a time for this with certain people. Because yes, we live in these streets. So certain people, you have to speak to them a certain way for they can understand you, and also for they can acknowledge that you from around here. Because if you start speaking too sweet, then they say, this dude ain't from here. This dude live up in the good places. So you have to always, show that. And that's if they don't know you, And you always do it with respect also. There's a way that we conduct ourselves out here in the street among us out here, because we have our own laws, if you come to look at it. If you want to look at it, the ghetto has its own laws. You got the governmental law, the civil law, the municipal law. We have our own system out here. When you are in the streets, this is when people are actually doing things in the streets. And you know what things I'm speaking about. There's laws that we go by. Do a lot of us, well, I'm not even going to include myself, I'm not there, but I used to be. But do a lot of them break their own laws? Yeah, you got quite a few that break their own laws, break their own code. But back in the days, those codes and those laws were not breakable. And when you broke them, they had consequences. And we're talking about man-made laws from the streets. Not laws that you go to a judge in a courthouse. Now in Puerto Rico, yeah, you you do something, it's like you're in a court over there, because they put you like on the trial. You know what I'm saying? The prisoners. So I'm speaking like this, you know what I'm saying? For you could see, right, that I could flow that way too. But at the same time, I have to know, who am I speaking to? How do I want to portray myself? How do I want to show the people of who I am? How do I want to present myself to the people? Do I want to present myself in a demeanor that people look down on and don't really like? Or do I want to present myself and represent myself in a well, with good conduct, with being hospitable, you know, being able to communicate to the best of my abilities. You know, I got an accent, you understand? I was born over there, but I was brought to New York at a young age, a baby, you know, and then I was back and forth. There were a couple of years here, a couple of years there, a couple of years there, you know, so, but I got an accent also, you understand? So with me saying this, man, what I'm trying to say is that when you are talking to an elder of any tradition, your tata, your yaya, from whatever, your madrina, your padrino, your baba, your whatever, that's a way that you should be talking to that person. If you speak to anyone from any tradition, even if it's not your own, you have to be respectful. When you call practitioners of a certain tradition or religion, try to fix your grammar up a little bit. Try to speak a little, I'm not saying better, because you are who you are, you're going to be you. But me, when I used to speak to my mother, I spoke to my mother clean. No disrespect, no foul language, no sucking my teeth, no my shoulders, don't, none of that, you understand? Because this backhand she had would go boom. And she taught me that, because I was raised without a father. The streets raised me. The old heads from the streets raised me. Because my mom wasn't not always around. My mom was from the streets too. So I know the feeling. I know what it is to be ghetto, live in the ghetto, go to schools here, go through all this system, the way this system is. I know I'm here. But at some point I have chosen in my life to raise myself, purge myself out of that way of thinking, that mindset. Because if not, I would have been stuck with the same mindset, with the same understanding, with the same thinking, doing the same thing, which was not going to lead me nothing to either prison or death. Back again, guys. When you call somebody from Nkisimalongo, Ocha, Ifa, anything, call respectfully. Be honest, be true of who you are, but at the same time, watch your words. Because you might not be a bad person, but the way you speak gives the wrong impression of you. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm also trying to say to respect your elders. Respect your elders. Because in Nkisimalongo, you're supposed to respect your mother, your father. You're supposed to be a good son, good daughter, a good father, a good mother, a good friend, a good neighbor. Have dignity. Have respect for yourself and others. Be humble. No need to, and I'm going to use the word, no need to front. What for? These days, these kids are going on Instagram, waving guns, saying who, in rapping, in rap battles, and rapping who they're going to kill and everything. They go ahead and kill the person, and they already ratted themselves out. Because they rapped about it, showed the guns, the whole squad, and they're killing people. Like it's a game. There's no morale. There's no like human life no more. For people, it's like it's not worth nothing. To me, it is. I want to be around my family, my grandchildren. I want to be around my brothers and sisters in the Munanso and brothers and sisters with my sisters. I don't got no brothers. My sisters, you know what I'm saying? My brother-in-laws and stuff like that. You know, amongst the people that I love and I'd rather be around with. And I'm around and I know a lot of people here in Philly and in New York. It has depleted. I haven't been there for a long time, but I got a couple of friends in New York. You know, but other than that, guys, be humble, man. Stay safe. I just wanted to get on here because the things I see these days, you know, all over the world, things I see on YouTube, the way people speak to other people, man, so disrespectful. And then you have those that have the ability to put their foot down, or the ability to speak up for those people, and they themselves, they don't even speak up for them people. They hide behind the shadows. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam, kasamita kutara. Be blessed, be safe. Thanks for hearing my blabber. I hope you guys got something out of it. My email address is tatazongo21@yahoo.com. tatazongo@yahoo.com. tatazongo21@yahoo.com. Be safe, guys. Too early. Peace.